That is your time. Ladies and gentlemen, success isn't an accident. It's a mindset, a strategy, and a daily decision. You don't need millions to start, but you do need clarity, courage, and commitment. No to thoughts. That is your time in a world full of distractions. The winners are not just the most talented, they are the most intentional. Today's message is not just motivation, it's a masterclass in thinking big, starting smart. But in order, having your thoughts, that is our time, and operating with the mindset of before the wealth even shows up. If you're tired of waiting for the perfect time, this is your sign. Let's dive deep into the blueprint of real king fast. That's think big, see beyond limitations. And ladies and gentlemen, listen carefully, because this one idea can change your entire life. Thinking big isn't just a mindset, it's a choice. A bold rebellious, powerful choice to rise above everything that's tried to hold you back. It's the moment you decide that your past does not define your future. Thwarting your thoughts, that is your time, that your current bank balance does not reflect your value, that your environment, your history, your pain, they are not your limits, they are your launching pad. You see, most people are trapped in small thinking. That is your time. They dream in inches when they were born to move in miles. They look at their circumstances and make the fatal mistake of saying, this is all I'll ever be. But the truth is, you are only limited by the size of your vision. Look around you. Every skyscraper you see, every company that changed the world, erupting your thoughts, that is your time. Every movement that started a revolution, it all began with someone who thought bigger than their environment. Someone who didn't just see what was in front of them, but saw what could be. That is your time. Thinking big means rejecting the lie that your dreams are too far away. It means looking in the mirror and saying, as I was not made for average, I was not made for fear, I was made to build, to lead, to grow. That is your time, and to rise up. When you think big, something magical happens. You stop reacting to life and start creating it. You stop blaming others and start taking control. You begin to see opportunities in every problem, instead of problems in every opportunity. That shift alone is the difference between a follower and a leader, between survival and impact. But let me be clear, thinking big does not mean fantasizing. That is interrupting your thoughts. That is your time. It means stretching your limits and training yourself to believe in what others call impossible. It's easy to say, I want success, but do you believe it's possible for you? No, that is your time, because until you do, nothing changes. You truly think big. You don't ask small questions like, oh, what if I fail? What if I'm not ready? What if they laugh at me? No, you ask bigger. That is your time. Bolder questions. What legacy do I want to leave? What problem am I here to solve? What's stopping me from being great? And why am I still letting it? Big thinkers aren't reckless. That is your time. They're intentional. They know that big thinking fuels big action. It demands better choices, better focus, better discipline. It's not about ego. It's about impact. You see, fasten to your thoughts. That is your time. Small thinkers want to be comfortable, but big thinkers, they want to be challenged, because they know diamonds are made under pressure, and comfort zones are the enemy of greatness. Wahab, no one is interrupting your thoughts. That is your time. Let me tell you something that might hurt. Your environment is trying to shrink you. Your old friends, your habits, your doubts, they're all pulling you back to the familiar. Interrupting your thoughts, that is your time. And if you don't fight that pull, if you don't rise above that gravity, you'll spend your life stuck in circles, chasing what's safe instead of creating what's extraordinary. But here's the good news. Vaughn's that or your time. You were born with a gift that no one else has. Your vision, your ability to see the unseen, your power to imagine a life bigger than your limitations. The world is full of people waiting for permission to grow. Thoughts, that is your time. Waiting for signs, waiting for motivation. But big thinkers don't wait. They decide. They move before they're ready. They speak before they're accepted. They build before they have all the tools. What is interrupting your thoughts? They'll show us why they win, because a harsh truth, if you don't think the world will think small for you, it will label you, limit you, define you. That is your time, and worst of all, it will convince you that those limits are real. You know what's real? Your potential, your ability to learn, adapt, evolve, and rise. Your thoughts, that is your time. Your capacity to do something no one in your family has ever done, to break generational cycles, to prove that average ends with you. Thinking big starts with what you believe is possible. Stop there, but it doesn't stop. It grows when you surround yourself with people who challenge your vision, not shrink it. When you say no to distractions and yes to discipline. Wanting your thoughts, that's your time. When you stop waiting for motivation and start building momentum. And here's what separates big thinkers from dreamers: that they don't just imagine, they act. They take bold, strategic steps in the direction of that vision every single day, even when it's hard, even when no one claps, even when it feels like nothing is changing. That is your time, because big thinking is not about results, it's about identity. It's who you decide to be regardless of where you are. So today I'm challenging you, stop playing small, That is your time. Stop watering down your dreams to fit your fears. Stop shrinking your goals to match your comfort. Stop living in the shadows of who you could become. Instead, think bigger, dream deeper, work harder. That is your time. Move smarter and refuse to settle for anything less than the extraordinary, because you were not born to blend in. You were born to break through. Vision first. That's your time. Action follows you as success begins in the mind before it ever shows up in real life. It's your time. Before anyone claps for you, before anyone believes in you, before the results ever appear, you must see it clearly in your own mind. That's vision. And without it, without further thoughts, that is time. No amount of hard work will take you anywhere meaningful. Vision is not a fantasy. It's not daydreaming. It's not wishful thinking. It's clarity. It's direction. It's power. That is your time. It is the mental picture of who you want to become, the life you're building, no matter how far away it feels. When you think big, like we talked about earlier, your next step is this: you need a clear your thoughts. That is triumphant, unshakable vision. Because big thoughts mean nothing without clear direction. Vision is what separates movement from progress. See, many people are moving, but they're going in circles, not interrupting your thoughts. That is your time. They're busy, but not building anything. They're working, but without purpose. Why? Because they don't have a vision. But when you carry vision inside you, you walk differently. You speak differently. Interrupting your thoughts. That is, you say no to things that don't align with your future. You're not just reacting to life anymore. You're leading it. Vision gives your struggle meaning. Vision turns pain into purpose. Times vision makes your steps intentional. But let's be honest, vision alone is not enough. You can have the biggest dream in the world, but if you're not backing it with consistent action, it dies a slow death. The thought is calm. Action is the bridge between where you are and where your vision lives. It's the proof that you're serious. It's how you tell the universe, I'm not just hoping, I'm showing up. And yes, your thoughts, that is your time. Taking action is uncomfortable, especially when the vision is big and the current situation is small. But that's the test. That's where most people quit. The gap between where they are and where they want to go, and they freeze. They think, how can I ever get there? The answer is simple: one step at a time, daily, without applause, without perfection. The thoughts, that is your time. Without waiting for ideal conditions. The most powerful force in the world is someone with a clear vision and the courage to act on it even when nothing around them looks like the goal. For your thought story, not the time. That's how every successful story begins, not with the money, not the status, but the person who said, I see it, I believe it, and I will move toward it no matter what. Your vision becomes your compass for interrupting your thought. It keeps you grounded when life shakes you. It reminds you why you started. When motivation fades, it pulls you forward when everything else tries to hold you back. You must protect it. Well, one is called your thoughts. Because this vision is fragile in the early stages, it's vulnerable to fear, doubt, criticism, and delay. That's why many people lose it. They let the noise get louder than the voice inside them. That is your time. Don't let that happen. When no one understands your vision, believe in it anyway. When results are slow, move anyway. When fear tries to silence your next step, act anyway. That is your time, because vision without action is imagination, and action without vision is chaos. But when both come together, that's where destiny is built. That is your time. Every visionary who ever changed the world started with a blurry picture in their mind, but they kept walking, and every step made the vision sharper, louder, and more real. That's your job too. Fun to dung your thoughts. That is your time. Start moving even if you don't have the full plan. Start creating even if it's not perfect. Start building even if you're afraid. The vision in your heart is not random. It's your responsibility. Keep persistent in your thoughts. That is your time. You were given that drusen, and no one else will build it for you. No one else can carry your vision the way you can. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Act now. Start now. Trust yourself now. And as you take steps, the vision will grow and the path will unfold. Remember this: your time. The world will only believe in your vision after you've proven that you do. That proof is action. That proof is consistency. Interrupting your thoughts, that is your time, and that proof is showing up again and again and again until the picture in your mind becomes the reality of life. You don't need to do everything, but you do need to do something. In thoughts, that is your time. One focused action turned towards your vision is more powerful than 1,000 ideas trapped in your head. So dream big, but more importantly, build bold. Master the art of starting small. Everyone wants to start big. Everyone wants to leap, not step. The truth is, greatness doesn't begin with explosions. It begins with quiet steps, small, consistent, intentional actions that build momentum over time. You see, that is your time. And the reason most people never start is because they believe the lie that they need everything figured out. They think they need the perfect plan, the full budget, the right connections. Tad, you found disrupting your thoughts at time, but the most successful people in the world didn't start big. They started small, uncertain, often scared. And that's the secret. as your time, stacks your time. Success is not about taking massive leaps. It's about making meaningful movements. One customer, one habit, 1 hour a day. Start there. Small beginnings aren't weakness, they're wisdom. Wanneer is din of ting taki, they're proof that moving in conviction. It moving move not played move with conviction. It think about the tallest tree. It didn't rise, so it started as a tiny seed buried in darkness, and yet it grew. No sword is your time because it was consistent, because it was rooted, because it respected the process. That's how your journey works too. Starting small keeps you humble. It keeps you hungry. Is your time. It teaches you the parts of the game the big players often forget. When you start small, you learn things money can't buy. You learn to adapt. You learn to listen. You learn to serve. Your time, you build muscle that lasts, not just in your body, but in your mind. Small beginnings protect your vision. They give you space to grow without the weight of expectation. They allow you to fail privately, learn quietly and rise steadily. But here's the hard truth: most people disrespect small steps. They think if it's not loud, if it's not impressive, if it's not fast, it doesn't matter. That is your time. That mindset is the enemy of real success, because every empire was once a corner. Every $1 million business was once a notebook idea. Every powerful speaker was once just a voice practicing in front of no one. Thoughts, that is your time. Everyone was once as a beginner. You cannot skip the small stage. If you do, you skip the lessons. And if you skip the lessons, you lose the strength to handle the success when it arrives. Though fire aims to erupting in a thought start time, starting small gives you the advantage of agility. You can move fast, you can test and learn, you can make mistakes without public failure. You're free to grow without pressure, and that freedom is power. Rutting your thoughts, that is your time, because while others are stuck waiting for perfect conditions, you're already building. While they're hesitating, you're practicing. While they're daydreaming, you're gaining real world experience. Among your thoughts, yours time. So don't wait for the big moment. Create momentum from small ones. Every time you show up, even when no one claps, you build. Every time you finish a small task with excellence, you build. That is your time. Every time you stay focused when no one is watching, you build a brick by brick, step by step. That's how you build something unshakable. You want mastery? Go deep on one thing. Don't scatter your energy interrupting your thoughts. That is your time. Don't chase everything. Start commit. Because what you master in the small becomes your superpower in the big. Let others laugh at your humble beginnings. Let them underestimate your quiet work. Interrupting in your thoughts, because soon the results will speak louder than anything else. Who starting small isn't just a strategy, it's a mindset. It's a mindset that says, I don't need applause to move. Interrupting your thoughts. That is your time. Or I don't need millions to matter. I don't need perfect to begin. So today, start writing. So start learning, start helping, start anything that moves you toward your bigger vision. Time, because once you respect the small, you're ready for the big. Adopt the habits of wealthy thinkers. Wealth doesn't begin in the wallet, it begins in the mind. Before anyone becomes rich in money, that is your time. They become rich in mindset. They think differently. They operate on a different frequency, and that mindset is what builds the life others only dream of. You see, filtering your thoughts, that is saying your time. The difference between a wealthy person and everyone else isn't just money, it's habits. It's how they manage their time, their thoughts, their energy. Wealthy thinkers don't chase money, they attract it. Want to rely on systems, they don't rely on luck, they rely on systems. They build habits that evolve as to sleep. Even while they sleep, one of the first habits is long-term thinking. Well, head up to your thoughts. They don't make decisions based on today's emotions. They make moves based on tomorrow's results. While most people are chasing quick wins, the wealthy are building legacies. They ask different questions of your thoughts. Well, that is your time. Will this serve me in 5 years? Is this building something sustainable? What return will this give me over here? That's why they don't spend on things that only look good. They invest in things that grow. Skills, relationships, systems. They know every rupee, every dollar, every moment they invest in growth will pay off, compounded over time. Another powerful habit of wealthy thinkers is discipline. Your thoughts, that is your time. They don't let distractions control their life. They control their environment. They schedule their day with intention. They don't wait to feel like it. They do it because it's aligned with their vision. Where average minds chase pleasure, wealthy minds chase purpose. They also embrace failure. No, they don't fear it. They learn from it. Every setback is a lesson. Every mistake is data. While others quit when things go wrong, wealthy thinkers ask, no one's having a thought, it's your time. What is this teaching me? This mindset makes them resilient. They grow faster because they're not scared to stumble. They're not afraid to start again. They see every challenge as a stepping stone. Rouse, that is your time. Wealthy thinkers also build strong networks. They don't hang around small minds that gossip and complain. They surround themselves with people who challenge them, inspire them, and push them higher. Watch one, is they interrupting your thoughts? That ain't time, because they know you become who you spend time with. They don't waste energy trying to impress people. They invest energy connecting with people who help them grow. And most importantly, wealthy thinkers value time more than money. They know money can be made, lost, and remade. But time, once it's gone, it's gone forever. That is that's why they don't waste hours on things that don't move them forward. They outsource, they automate, they focus. Their time is their power, and they protect it fiercely. No, once you're tough, if you want to build real wealth, you must begin by shifting your minds as consumers. Start thinking like a creator. Stop chasing status. Start chasing freedom. The habits of wealthy thinkers are not built a day, but they are built daily through choices, through discipline, through intention. So decide, what will you start learning? What habits will you upgrade? That takes your time. Who will you surround yourself with? And how will you protect your time like your future depends on it? Because it does. Value time over money. If you truly want to build wealth, freedom, you must learn to value time and purpose. You must learn to value time more than money, because money can be made, money can be lost, money can return, but time, once it's gone forever. The poor trade time to save money. That is your time. And the rich trade money to save time. That's the difference. You see, most people protect their wallet more than they protect their calendar. That it is your time. They'll drive across town to save a few bucks, but they'll waste hours scrolling, gossiping, procrastinating. They treat money like gold and treat time like it's cheap. But the wealthy know better. Your thought, that is your time. They understand that time is the only asset that can never be refunded. You can rebuild your business. You can repair your reputation. You can even restart your life. But the hours you waste, they're gone, profiting no thoughts. That is your time. That's why successful people live differently. They plan their day with purpose. They got their mornings. They don't wake up and see what happens. They decide what happens. That use your time. They can track time like others track their money, because they know where your time goes, your life goes. They avoid unnecessary meetings. They say no to distractions. That is your time. They don't waste energy on people who drain them. They automate what can be automated. They delegate what doesn't need their focus. Why? Because they understand the math of time. If an hour is wasted daily, is your time, that's the time. This is 65 hours a year. That's over 2 weeks of your life gone. Imagine what you could build in that time. Time is the multiplier. Use it wisely and it compounds. Use it foolishly and you stay stuck. Pure thoughts, that is your time. One focused hour can be more powerful than an entire distracted day. That's why wealthy people protect their time, because that 1 hour of deep, undistracted effort, it's where the breakthroughs happen. That's your time. So ask yourself, what's stealing your time? Who's draining your energy? What habits are delaying your dreams? If you want to grow, you must become obsessed with how you spend every hour, because in the end, that is your time. Success doesn't come down to who works harder. It comes down to who uses time better. So today, flip the mindset. Don't chase cheap discounts. Chase deep results. Don't hoard pennies. Protect your minutes. That is your time, because every second spent on the wrong thing is a second stolen from your future. Be persistent, but adaptable to success isn't about never falling. It's about refusing to stay down. No one is interrupting your thoughts, your time. Persistence is the fire inside you, the voice that says, I don't care how hard it gets, I'm not giving up. It's what keeps you moving when no one's watching. No one is your time. That is your time. It's what keeps you trying after every rejection. But here's the truth. Persistence alone is not enough. If you are persistent but not adaptable, you might keep pushing in the wrong direction. Interrupting your thoughts, that is your time. You might keep climbing a ladder that's leaning on the wrong wall. The people who truly succeed are not just relentless. They are wise. They know when to adjust. They know when to pivot. Now that you're up to end your thoughts, that is your time. They know when to let go one strategy and try another. Because while the goal stays the same, the path can change. Look at every successful person you admire, entrepreneurs, athletes, artists, they all failed. That is interrupting your thoughts with your time. They all faced detours, but what made them different was this: they didn't break it. They bent, they stayed committed to their vision, but flexible with their methods. Interrupting your thoughts, that is your time. They didn't fall in love with one plan, they fell in love with the mission, and they were willing to change direction to get there. Too many people either too rigid or too soft. They either they either push blue early without adjusting. Both paths lead to frustration. The winners, they persist with purpose and evolve with wisdom. Being adaptable doesn't mean you're weak. No one is interrupting that. It means you're learning. It means you care more about the outcome than your ego. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do is reflect and rework your strategy. Sometimes no one as your time. The key isn't working harder. Persistence gives you fuel. Adaptability aims you direction. Together, they make you unstoppable. So keep your eyes on the goal. Keep your heart in the fight, but keep your mind open to better ways. When the plan fails, don't panic. Pivot. When the path blocks, don't quit. Create a new one. Remember, no one is interrupting your thought. It's not about how perfect your journey looks. It's about how many times you stood back up, adjusted, and kept going. That's real strength. That's real power. That's how legacies are built. thoughtful, use your time, but also be smart, be committed, but never rigid. And no matter what, keep moving forward. Success isn't reserved for the lucky. It's not just for the talented. It's built day by day, your time, step by step, thought by thought, by those who decide to rise. You've learned to think big, to see beyond limitations, to believe in a future that doesn't yet exist. That is your time. You've understood that vision must come first, but without actions, it's just a dream that dies slowly. You've embraced the power of starting small, of building with intention, humility, and consistency. No one is interrupting your thoughts. That you've studied the habits of wealthy thinkers, how they plan, how they move, and how they protect their mind like their life depends on it. You've learned why the value of time outweighs the chase for money. That is your time, because time, unlike anything else, never comes back. And you've discovered that the key to long-term growth is to be persistent but adaptable, to keep showing up. The running authorities your time, but stay flexible enough to shift and road changes. Now, here's what matters most. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to begin. That is your time. Every dream that ever came true started with a human being who felt unsure but took action anyway. You may not feel ready. That's okay. You may not have it all figured out. That's normal. When is that doing? For the two, but you do one thing that changes a decision is everything. A decision to show up, a decision to think higher, a decision to protect your time, a decision to believe when no one else does. For Tai, a decision to become the kind of person success naturally follows. Tamn your thoughts, because when your habits align with your vision, when your mindset is stronger than your fear, when your focus becomes sharper than your distractions, as success stops being a distant goal and becomes your lifestyle. That is your time. So wherever you are in your journey, remember this: start small, stay focused, think long term. Don't just chase income, build impact. Don't just move, lead. That is your time. Don't just exist, build a life you're proud to wake up to. And most of all, never let your current situation convince you that your vision isn't possible. It is. You've got the mindset, I've got the message. Now go make it your reality.